everyone, I am Adam. I'm going to take you through my expectations for the coming week with regards to the global indices as well as major commodities and cryptos. So I'm going to start off here with the Dow, having a look at this. We've got a very nice weekly retracement. This is where it gets interesting because this week we're either going to see a bit of a turnaround this coming week, and actually it's going to start to produce a bullish candle. So definitely one candle, one bit of information I beg your pardon, to watch is the high and the low of this current week candle. So if we break the high, we'll produce the swing low this coming week. Obviously, what alternatively could happen is we get a bit of an indecision candle. Ultimately, it's not ready to turn just yet. You can see it's putting on the brakes here. We've got a very nice bullish candle here. And so this is a very nice sweet spot potential point of it actually turning around and carrying on up. So looking good. I quite like the look of that. It may not be ready yet. It may need another week before it does that. We'll see. But again, so that's why it's important to watch the highs and lows of this weekly candle. If we have a look at the NASDAQ is obviously at a nice little rebound. It's pulling back a bit. It's back within this area here where it's been previously ranging, but the monthly candle so far has produced a swing low, bit of a green candle at the moment. So for now, my expectation is that this will attempt to continue to push high, even if it is a little bit messy here. But compared to the other indices, the NASDAQ is one of the most choppy right now, almost certainly tied to AI. Let's have a look at the S&P. Coming back into these previous highs looks really good. It's a beautiful weekly retracement. This is very nice and healthy. I did actually say last week I was looking for the market to pull back and then looking for it to continue. We are now getting that retracement. So the question really is, are we going to get that bullish candle this coming week, or will it be the week after? Are we going to get a little bit of more sideways and a bit down to test this level before getting ready to take off? So in other words, this week I'm prepared for the market to attempt to turn around this week. It may very well just end up as an indecision or small candle here. It may in fact break through this level of support and ultimately end up as a bullish candle, and then next week continue to take off. So the way that I would describe this is that we are currently in a retracement phase on the weekly, and this coming week I'm looking to see if it has completed that retracement and is getting ready to head up. And do we finish the week with a bullish candle, which means that the week after next would be a good opportunity to look for long positions. Moving on to the FTSE, this is very, very good. We've got a beautiful, crisp level of resistance being tested as support. We've produced some very nice signals over here. This looks particularly good to me. I really like that bullishness over there, and it's also at the same time has produced a bullish weekly candle. So for me, I find this two sets of bullish signals. One of the things, yes, I would be a little bit concerned with is the possibility of strong resistance at the highs here. So let me just go through and mark that with its particular color. So yes, that may indeed represent some potential resistance this week, but I do like the look of it overall. So that looking very nice and bullish. The DAX as well started a bit of a retracement here. It's had a really good move up for 4 weeks. Looks like it's doing a week down and a retracement. Again, this week I'm going to be looking for a bullish candle and ideally seeing some signs of this turning around. So what are the best timeframes to monitor that is potentially the 4 hour. If the 4 hour starts going up into an uptrend, then it looks as though we very much started to turn around. As I said though, this coming week, we may still have one more week of downward move and then finish a little bit higher, testing those levels, and then the next week producing that swing low. So the question ultimately is, are we going to get that swing low this week or next week? Now, Euro Stoxx as well, nice uptrend, pulling back into the previous highs, back into the moving averages. If the market is nice and bullish, we should see an attempt for it to actually move higher this week. So in other words, sooner rather than later. IBEX as well, really, really nice level of true resistance here, coming back, testing that, attempting to find support. The weekly is not overextended, it's close to the moving averages. Monthly is a little bit. So indeed, sure, if we're looking, we're up at the top of the channel, but here you can see we're in for more than a year before we had a pullback, and actually we've just been taken off here. So the idea that we need to have another pullback anytime now is not necessarily the case. So I do want to lean on the side of being bullish, more so than not bullish. The Nikkei, of course, started to do its move up and pull back again here. You can see that weekly doing a bit of a retracement. So this week being a little bit of a fumble, we may very well find that next week the markets recover and just continue to push higher. Let's see how that plays out. The Hang Seng, very nice, pushing right up. And keeping in mind that, by the way, that the Hang Seng is one of the weakest indexes out there. And so far it's looking really good. It's broken last month's high. This is already a swing low on the monthly, testing a level of support, rejecting that level, which is really good, or at least finding support there and pushing high. We're already potentially producing very close to at least producing a swing low on the weekly. We'll be above the 50. We'll have an uptrend if we break the high. If we end up breaking the high here of 26,187.57 over there, then we'll be going back into a bull market, at least on this chart. Looks really good. Level of resistance, just want to see it get through that. The ASX Australia battling a little bit with this 9,200 level there. But overall, what I was looking for here was a pullback and then looking for a bullish candle to form and then looking for it to take another run up. Now, as I said, again, it may not be ready yet. It may want to do another bit of a week where we get more of a testing on the lows and ultimately finishing with a bit of a rejection, and then the week after next getting a break high. So again, I just say it one more time. Essentially what I'm looking for here is a swing low to form either this week or next week, and I'll be watching the 4 hour to see if we get that nice change of trend, and if we produce those, we break the highs of the weekly candles, if that's the case. So I am prepared for it to be a little bit bullish at the start of the week, possibly. We'll see if it ultimately finishes lower or if it is ready to resume the uptrend. Let's move away from the indices. So overall, if I just had to summarize those indices, they're still largely in a bull market. They seem to have stumbled last week, and what I'm looking for here, we've got some weekly retracements across several of them. I'm looking for them to determine whether they are done with those corrections and ready to resume the weekly uptrends, whether that's going to happen this coming week or the week after. Moving on to commodities. Crude oil here starting to push up higher. Still looks like it's going to work its way up to these recent levels here. So $90 is certainly on the table for crude oil. Makes a lot of sense to me. I think for now it's going to work its way up to the upside. So I'm bullish on crude oil. Gold, very, very nice. Very, very strong at the moment. Kind of heading up very aggressively. So again, I would keep an eye on it. I think we can now say pretty confidently that 4,800 is on the table. So let me just bring that up, put that in. 4,800 is on the table, but what we do need are pullbacks. All right, it's been very aggressive. It's heading up at quite a strong angle. That angular momentum is incredibly bullish. So gold right now is very strong. In fact, I think there could be some decent opportunities this week. I keep an eye on 4 hour pullbacks, but for the most part, I'm very bullish on gold. Silver, same. Expecting that to hit up. There's no reason why this can't work its way up to 71.50. That's certainly on the cards, but I am looking for some pullbacks and retracements throughout the week on the 4 hour time frame. Then having a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin also having a fantastic week, breaking up through to the upside here. So this is a good sign that there is certainly an appetite in the markets. It is very much quite happy to take on risk. Broken through. This is always a good finisher, especially if the rest of the markets are bullish. And we see gold and silver also looking nice and bullish at the moment. There's a lot of money going around. Looks like it's finding its way back into Bitcoin. And so certainly no reason why this couldn't attempt to continue to hit high. It's overextended. I'd love to see a pullback. Just a pullback and a continuation. Could very well find that if it does have a nice pullback, could end back up, and it resumes the trend, could end up at 80,000 this week. We'll see really about how long it takes to do that retracement and continue up. But any pullbacks for me on the daily could provide good with trend buying opportunities back to the upside. And finishing off with SpaceX, which if we look at it here on the daily, or certainly on that weekly time frame, is battling with that 618 level, battling over there. Bit of a double top pattern over there. It's now pretty much completed that. So we'll see. And it's got a nice little double wick over here. So there's a bit of a battle going on here. There's going to be bulls coming in here, bears coming in here. So we're going to have to see how that ultimately plays out. Indecision candles here. I think it's a good idea to watch the low of last week's candle. A break below this could see it resuming its downtrend back down towards 100. If it doesn't do that, ultimately we could see it testing this level of 149, 150 again. And if it breaks through that, then there's much more upside to come. So plenty to look out for when it comes to SpaceX. There we go, ladies and gents. So there should be some good opportunities this week. There's no real, in terms of economic Canada news, there's nothing as big as, say, non-farm payroll, but there is a few pieces here and there. So just make sure that you familiarize yourself with the economic Canada. Make sure it doesn't catch you off guard if you're a day trader. Thank you very much. Have a great week.